Good morning, and welcome to our continuing series, Questions and Answers, from the works of Sri Aurobindo and the Mother. Today we take up Courage, Part 2, from the Mother. Let me tell you the story of Madhava as it was recorded by Bhavabhuti. He is kneeling outside a temple and hears a cry of distress. He finds a way to enter and looks into the sanctuary of the goddess Chamunda. A victim is about to be slain in honor of this terrible goddess. It is poor Malati. The girl has been carried away in her sleep. She is all alone with the priest and priestess, and the priest raises his knife just as Malati is thinking of Madhava, whom she loves. O Madhava, Lord of my heart, oh, may I after death live in thy memory. They do not die whom love embalms in long and fond remembrance. With a shout, brave Madhava leaps into the chamber of sacrifice and engages the priest in mortal combat. Malati is saved. For whom did Madhava show courage? Was he fighting for himself? Yes, but that was not the only reason for his courage. He was fighting also for the sake of another. He had heard a cry of distress, and it had touched the brave heart in his breast. So we have seen what is courage to help oneself and what is courage to help others. Such was the courage of Moses, the leader of Israel, who demanded from the Pharaoh of Egypt the freedom of the oppressed Jewish people. Such was the courage of Muhammad, the prophet, who imparted his religious thought to the Arabs, and who refused to be silenced even though they threatened him with death. Such was the courage of Siddhartha, the Blessed One, who taught the people of India a new and noble path, and was not terrified by the evil spirits who assailed him under the bo tree. Such was the courage of Christ, who preached to the people, love one another, and was not intimidated by the pontiffs of Jerusalem, who forbade him to teach, nor by the Romans, who crucified him. So we have noted three kinds, 3 degrees of courage. Physical courage for oneself, courage for the near one, the friend, the neighbor in distress, the threatened motherland. Finally, the moral courage that enables one to stand up to unjust men, however powerful they may be, and to make them listen to the voice of right and truth. In the following story, on the other hand, you will observe how calmly the people behaved, and yet how brave they were in face of mortal peril at sea. Towards the end of March 1910, a Scottish vessel was carrying passengers from Australia to the Cape of Good Hope. There was no trace of cloud in the sky, and the sea was calm and blue. Suddenly, the ship struck a reef 6 miles off the west coast of Australia. Immediately the whole crew was on the move, each man hurrying as whistles were blown. But this noise was not the result of confusion and panic. An order rang out, "Man the boats!" The passengers put on their life belts. A blind man, led by his servant, walked across the deck. Everyone made way for him. He was helpless, and all wanted him to be the first to be saved. A short time later, the ship had been evacuated, and soon it sank. On one of the lifeboats, a woman began to sing, and in spite of the sound of the waves, which at times drowned her voice, the oarsmen could hear the refrain, which put strength into their arms. "Pull for the shore, sailors! Pull for the shore!" The shipwrecked people reached the shore at last, and were taken in by some good fishing folk. Not one passenger had been lost. In this way, 450 people had saved themselves by their quiet courage. Namaste.